Welcome to Cat Facts Funny. Today we're exploring something quiet, something that doesn't happen in a single moment, but unfolds slowly over days, weeks, sometimes even months. We're talking about how cats learn who will protect them, not who feeds them, not who plays with them the most, but who they believe will stand between them and the world when something feels uncertain. Because to a cat, protection is not a dramatic act. It is not loud. It is not announced. It is sensed. And once they decide, they rarely decide lightly. The silent observation phase. Before a cat trusts, they observe. Cats do not enter new spaces assuming safety. Even in your home, even after adoption, even after years of routine, part of them remains watchful. It's not fear. It's instinct. They watch how you walk. They watch how you enter rooms. They notice whether your movements are abrupt or measured. They feel the emotional weather around you. When you're stressed, they know. When you're calm, they know. When your voice tightens, when your breathing changes, when your energy shifts, they catalog it all. And during this observation phase, they are asking one silent question. If something unexpected happens, will this human stay steady? Protection to a cat begins with emotional stability. A protector is someone whose reactions are predictable. Someone who does not explode into chaos when the world makes a sudden sound. Cats learn protectors by studying nervous systems. Who responds to the small signals. Cats rarely shout their needs. They whisper them. A slight tail flick. A pause before entering a room. A shift in ear position when a new noise appears. The person who notices these subtle signals begins earning something powerful. Relevance. When you lower your voice during a thunderstorm, when you instinctively block a loud vacuum cleaner with your body, when you gently close a door to reduce noise, you are sending a message. I see what unsettles you. Cats learn protection not from grand gestures, but from micro-responses. They remember who adjusted the environment. They remember who softened the space. And over time, they start orienting toward that person during uncertainty. Not dramatically, just quietly. They move a little closer. They choose a nearby surface instead of a distant one. That is how it begins. The Test of Startle. Every cat experiences moments of startle. A dropped object, a sudden knock, a raised voice in another room. In these moments, something very important happens. The cat reacts instinctively, but then, almost immediately, they check the human. If you freeze in panic, they register it. If you shout loudly, they absorb it. If you remain steady, grounded, and non-reactive, they absorb that too. And here is something remarkable. Many cats will recalibrate their fear level based on your response. They look at you to measure the threat. Protection, in their mind, is not about fighting danger. It is about containing it, reducing its size, not amplifying it. The human who consistently shrinks chaos instead of expanding it slowly becomes the one they sit near when the world feels uncertain. The body as a barrier. Sometimes protection is physical. When visitors enter, when unfamiliar animals approach, when the environment shifts, cats pay attention to positioning. Who stands between them and the door? Who gently guides strangers away from overwhelming contact? Who prevents children from grabbing or chasing? Even subtle gestures matter. A hand placed calmly in front of a reaching stranger. A body angled slightly as a shield. A quiet "it's okay" spoken with relaxed posture. Cats may pretend indifference, but they record who creates space for them. And that person becomes associated with safety, not because they dominate, but because they protect boundaries. Consistency over intensity. Cats do not choose protectors based on intensity. They do not need the loudest affection. They do not need constant handling. They do not need dramatic displays of love. They need consistency. The person who feeds them at predictable times. The person who moves with familiar rhythm. The person whose mood does not swing unpredictably. Protection feels like routine. A cat relaxes deeply when life feels structurally stable. And the human who provides that structure. day after day becomes the emotional anchor. Over time, you'll notice something subtle. They begin sleeping closer to that person. They follow them into rooms. They check on them when they move, not because they are needy, because they have decided, this is the steady one. Vulnerability as a signal. One of the clearest signs that a cat has identified their protector is controlled vulnerability, rolling partially onto their side, closing their eyes in your presence, grooming themselves near you, turning their back toward you while resting. To prey animals, vulnerability is never casual. When a cat exposes their belly, it is not always an invitation for touch. Sometimes it is simply a display of safety. I can relax here. Cats only relax deeply in the presence of someone they believe will stay alert on their behalf. In other words, when they sleep more soundly near you, it may mean they believe you are keeping watch. That is trust at its most instinctive level. The chosen position. Eventually, without ceremony, a pattern forms. During loud events, they move toward one specific person. During new situations, they sit slightly behind or beside one specific person. During stress, their eyes search for one specific face. This is not favoritism in the way humans define it. It is strategic alignment. Cats choose proximity to the human whose nervous system regulates theirs. The protector is not necessarily the one who loves the cat most loudly. It is the one whose presence lowers heart rate, the one whose breathing is steady, the one who does not become unpredictable under pressure. Protection to a cat feels like emotional gravity. The invisible contract. When a cat decides who will protect them, they do not announce it. There is no ceremony. There is simply a shift. They linger longer. They approach first. They wait near doors for that person to return. They position themselves within quiet reach. It becomes an invisible contract. If something happens, I will come toward you. And in return, they offer something equally powerful. Their watchfulness, their quiet companionship, their presence in still moments. Protection in the feline world is mutual. Before we close, take a quiet moment to notice where your cat is right now. Not just physically, but emotionally. Notice the distance they choose. Notice whether they are stretched out, half-curled, or fully tucked in. Cats do not relax randomly. They relax strategically. And if that relaxation happens near you, it is not coincidence. It is the result of accumulated evidence. Small moments where you stayed calm. Small moments where you softened noise. Small moments where you did not force, did not overwhelm, did not react with intensity. Protection in the feline world is built from repetition. It is built from being the same steady presence on ordinary days, not just the dramatic ones. Your cat has been studying you longer than you realize. They have watched how you move through rooms, how you respond to stress, how you handle uncertainty. And somewhere along the way, without announcement, they made a quiet calculation. This is safe enough. This human reduces chaos instead of creating it. That decision is profound, because for a small animal wired for vigilance, choosing to rest near someone is an act of biological trust. So if your cat leans into you during a storm, or sleeps deeply while you're nearby, understand what that means. It means they believe you are paying attention to the world so they don't have to. And that is one of the highest forms of trust a cat can offer. If your cat has chosen you as their protector, it may not look dramatic. It may look like a cat sitting quietly at your feet during a thunderstorm. It may look like a cat grooming calmly beside your keyboard. It may look like a cat sleeping deeply while you read in silence. But what it truly means is this: they have studied you, they have measured your reactions, they have observed your patterns, and they have decided you are steady. In a world that feels large and unpredictable to a small animal, that decision is not small. It is instinct. It is survival. It is trust. Thank you for being here, and for taking the time to understand the quiet, emotional language of cats. If this episode helped you see your cat a little differently today, subscribe to Cat Facts Funny, and join us again as we continue exploring the calm, hidden psychology of the animals who share our homes. Until next time, stay steady. Someone might be learning safety from you.